All right, we're going to get started. Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. My name's Ann Stapleton. If I haven't met you, we got a lot of new people here, so glad for that. Welcome to the neighborhood. My husband Mark and I run the event center here and also a church on Sundays. We are a nonprofit, and we like to open our doors to community groups like Revitalize, which I'm part of, so we're super glad to have Revitalize here. The bathroom is down the hall at the end on the left. There's also cold water and cups halfway down the hallway, and then there's snacks by donation. And Chelsea has been trying to introduce us to restaurants on Broadway. So we've got, you want to tell us about that?
So today we have fried rice from Lemon Grove Thai, and the yellow one is chicken and the blue one is vegetarian. So, and they were served vegetarian first, scooped, and then the chicken, because I know how vegetarians like to make sure things don't touch. So I did it in the right order, don't worry.
All right, and we'll get the meeting started. So if you haven't signed in the sign-in sheet in the back, please do so. And if you're not getting my emails, please make sure to put your email address down there or come find me afterwards, because I'm still getting a little bit of kickbacks. But I'm Serafina Eberhardt. I'm with the Institute for Public Strategies. I'm our Director of Prevention Programs. So I oversee our East County Substance Misuse Prevention Program, which we're contracted by the County of San Diego to do our work. And the way we do it is through upstream prevention, so looking at the environment and community conditions and how that leads to substance misuse. So forming coalitions such as yourselves and supporting you guys. We have our co-chairs here tonight. We have Chelsea Gastelum, Manola Clark Manson. We have Jack Weinmiller in the back running our all of our tech. And then we have Jules Diamakis, and we have Stanley Brown is also one of our co-chairs. If you are new to this meeting and you would like additional information or want to talk afterwards, please feel free to hang back and introduce yourself or ask questions. And then I'm going to hand it over to Chelsea to introduce. We have 2 presentations tonight. So thank you all for being here.
Hi there. And when you get a chance when you're leaving, please look outside, because we have a banner now. So now when we do tabling events, guys, we have a banner. So it's exciting. Got those ordered and we have 2 of them. So we can even be at 2 different places at the same time. So very excited about that. So one of the things that we are trying to do with Revitalize Broadway, of course, is to make sure that we have a connection from the different government entities to our communities. And so tonight we have 2 different groups to help with those connections and what they're doing. So we have the HHSA, who is going to discuss what they're doing going into the bank building on Golden and Lemon Grove Avenue. And then after, we will have Caltrans give a discussion as well. So everybody should have seen the teasers. So I'm going to hand it over to them. I'd like to remind you guys that we are streaming. Do you have the second microphone? Oh, I'm holding the second microphone. Okay. So when we get to the question and answer, it should go through here, or we will repeat it to make sure that people online, because there's no way that they will hear it unless it's through a microphone. Okay, so that's important. HHSA is first. So we want to make sure we have that up. And I don't want to. Okay, perfect.
There's a music stand there, or you can use the table.
See if I can get that going.
Which is better, music standard?
Here, you know what? I'll just put it.
Oh, there we go. And I'm going to make sure it's showing up there.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. How are you? So my name is Michael Jones. I'm a Human Services Program Manager with the County of San Diego, specifically at the Lemon Grove Family Resource Center. I have some of my co-manager here, Kevlin Eugene. And we also have our chief, Yvonne Hose, and our deputy director, Brenda Vargas Ramirez. So we just wanted to touch base with you all regarding, as I said, the new bank building and what we're going to be doing in that office. So we'll talk about us as Self-Sufficiency Services, our specific department with the county and what we do. We'll talk a little bit about our Lemon Grove Family Resource Center, and we'll go over just our most popular programs, so CalFresh, Medi-Cal, and CalWorks. And we'll also touch on how to apply it. And I did put some flyers on the table in the back if anyone's interested or knows someone else that would be interested in our programs. So our purpose at Self-Sufficiency, we provide supplementary food assistance, medical health insurance, and cash aid to individuals and families in need. And we do that to assist them in becoming self-sufficient. It's right there in the name, Self-Sufficiency Services. We have 13 family resource centers located throughout San Diego County, anywhere from Oceanside to Chula Vista, Escondido, El Cajon, and of course here in Lemon Grove as well. We also have our Access Customer Service Center, a call center where customers can call and receive updates about their case, provide updates to us, or complete forms over the phone. To support that, we have our Document Processing Center, and that just receives any documents the customers want to turn in to us. They'll go ahead and scan those in and get them uploaded to their respective workers so they can be processed. And again, our three most popular programs are CalFresh, Medi-Cal, and CalWorks, and we'll break those down in just a second. So the Lemon Grove Family Resource Center, we are moving into the bank here on Golden, right down the street, but we have been in the community since 1990, and we've been at the old bowling alley. I'm sure a few of you remember that, over behind the Jack in the Box on Broadway. We've been there since 1990. And we are moving over here to be a little bit closer to service our customers. We've provided assistance in Lemon Grove for multiple generations, and even before we had an office in Lemon Grove, we were providing assistance through our other offices as well. And something that's dear to me is I'm also a member of the community. I actually live a block away. I just bought a house here last spring. If it wasn't so hot, I would have walked here today, but I did drive.
So you'll start coming to this meeting?
I've been before. You guys enticed me with the food, and I was walking by, and I stopped in and got some food, so thank you for that. And I enjoy living in Lemon Grove. I enjoy living in Lemon Grove. I enjoy being in a community that feels a little bit smaller in a big city, and a community that enjoys helping each other. I've witnessed many food drives and distributions of support from drug and alcohol groups. And even on my way to work in the morning, I see the Lemon Grove Community Cleanup Crew with their vest and, picking up trash over by the trolley stations. I see that. So I love being in this neighborhood. So just to jump into some of our programs, CalFresh is for people with low income who meet federal income eligibility rules, and they want to add to their budget to put healthy and nutritious food on their table. This is going to be for our San Diego County residents, and we make it a little bit easier for our older adults or our disabled customers, such as SSI recipients, to receive this. But the majority of our customers are families or individuals who are either disabled or elderly. They can access their benefits through their EBT card. You'll see that EBT accepted here. We also have our restaurant meals program. Now, a common misconception is that anyone with the EBT card can go to Jack in the Box, for example, and use their EBT card there, but that's actually only going to be for our elderly or disabled customers, or are homeless because they don't have a kitchen or refrigerator to store or prepare food. So whenever you see that EBT accepted here, that's for our elderly, disabled, or homeless. And CalFresh just helps supplement a household food purchasing power. All households applying for CalFresh must complete an interview to determine eligibility, and then once approved, those funds are transmitted to their EBT card, their electronic benefits transfer card. Moving on to Medi-Cal. This is California's answer to the state Medicaid program. And if you know California, we like to put our own spin on everything. So this is Medicaid, but we have Medi-Cal. CalFresh is SNAP, but it's called CalFresh. This pays for a variety of medical services for children and adults with limited income. They must be California residents, and they must meet our Medi-Cal income eligibility requirements. Medi-Cal covers dental care, vision care, mental health services, substance use disorder services, prescription drugs, laboratory services, maternity and newborn care, and emergency services as well. And recipients to Medi-Cal will receive a BIC card, a benefit identification card, to access their coverage. And lastly, we have CalWorks. And this provides temporary cash assistance to eligible families with minor children. So up to 18 years of age. And in addition to that, they must have dependent children who lack the parental support or care of one or both parents being absent, deceased, incapacitated, such as disabled, or unemployed. So they must meet both of those requirements. A dependent up to 18 years of age, and meet one of those requirements as well. And we make it simple to apply. We have our online website that customers can apply on at benefitscal.org. That's also on the flyers in the back. They can apply by mail, by phone through our Access Call Center. They can call 211 San Diego, our resource hotline, or they can apply in person at our local family resource centers. So multiple ways to apply. And with that, are there any questions? Yes?
I'm curious on the in-person. I know most of the services have gone virtual.
Mhm.
Do we have any idea about the impact on foot traffic? How many people are going to be coming to the center? Any kind of estimation on that?
Yes. So since the pandemic, we've pushed applying online and our online services hard. And a lot of customers have grabbed onto that, and they've pretty much switched to that mindset. Instead of taking a document, for example, or application to our offices, they can scan it with their cell phone and submit it that way. We've seen foot traffic drop quite a bit. My co-manager can attest to that. And that's something that we continue to push, so we are seeing drops continue as well. For Lemon Grove specifically, we do have a more elderly customer base. So that has been our biggest challenge with switching to that virtual model. But again, we've been educating, not only just here, let me take your document, but let me show you how to do that and submit that online as well.
Just a quick follow-up.
Sure.
How many employees are going to be based out of there? I'm curious about the impact on local businesses.
Got it. So we're going to have about 40 employees on site, 40 or less. Yep. Mhm. Yes.
Microphone right here.
So we have a lot of families, and they may have somebody who is in a detention center or incarcerated. How are they able to access these resources? I believe there's like a form you need to fill out that maybe like their family member can fill out. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
If someone is
Incarcerated or in a detention center, how would they have apply to get access to these resources when they get out?
Got it. So we actually have a pre-release inmate program. So let's say that someone has a release date. The facility will actually help them complete a Medi-Cal application so that they do have services as the moment they step out of that facility. From there, we'll go ahead and get that application, and then we'll process it, and then they can come visit us. Depending on their situation, let's say they're applying for CalFresh and it's a dire need, we will get that process for them within 3 business days.
Then for Otay Mesa Detention Center, you don't have anything for that yet, right? It's just for incarcerated.
Just for incarcerated. Mhm.
Is there going to be any child welfare staff in this new FRC?
No, this is strictly for our Family Resource Center staff. Child welfare, I believe, and Yvonne and Brenda help me, El Cajon or El Cajon. Mm-hmm.
When do you plan to open?
Great question. Construction deadlines, we're aiming for next month. We're aiming for next month.
Thank you. I have 2 questions. One about advertising within your organization, and the other is about other services that are available at that site. So it used to be FRCs were everything. everything you could possibly need from the county was there. So this is only going to be for self-sufficiency, nothing else.
Correct. This is only for self-sufficiency. We do have some supplemental programs that will be handled by phone from our office, such as employment services, job training, or our tuition assistance for CalWorks, our things like that. But this is only for self-sufficiency, excuse me.
Okay. So the next,
Yeah.
Could I just add to, since you did mention about having multiple services, so our current location on Broadway, 7065 Broadway, it was considered a Live Well Center where we were co-located with the Office of Homeless Solution. Even probation was there, but we are downsizing. So at the new bank, it's tiny. Some of you guys already know. So it is going to be only us, but I do just want to remind everybody that we do have Live Well Centers throughout the county. I think the closest one here would be the Southeastern Live Well Center, and they do have a public health clinic. They have 2 behavioral health clinics. They do have the Office of Homeless Solutions there. They also have the Department of Community, the Equitable Community Team. So they go out and do outreach. They also at the Southeastern Live Well Center. So they have an FRC. That's one of our sister offices. We work with them. So I do want to just remind the community that the Live Well Center is pretty close by. It's only a few miles off of the 94. And if there's other departments, they actually also have a presence of child and family well-being. So sometimes they have a family visitation room. So let's say it's a member of the community from Lemon Grove. They can't make it to a child and family well-being office. They could actually utilize the Southeastern Live Well Center. So the Live Well Centers do still exist. It's just that the change for us with Lemon Grove is that we're just going to a single only family resource center. But anybody's always welcome to stop by to our FRC at the new location, and we will always be open to find them the department or the county service that they're looking for.
thank you. The second question is, you thought you'd get away, is about our businesses. So that's 40 more people. And however many people come into the office every day, that potentially could be buying things in Lemon Grove. So is there a way that we can be advertising within the offices?
I can take that. So as the county, we wouldn't be able to advertise like, hey, everybody should go to the new Jack in the Box, to the new coffee shop, but you are always welcome to come and bring us flyers, because our staff, if there's something I think people know about the county, we love to eat. We love potlucks. We love, we're working all day long in the office. We need food, right? So our team is already talking about like the coffee shop, the donuts. Like it's actually closer, even though we're only a mile away from where we're moving. It's actually going to be a little bit more friendly for our staff to walk to these places. So we would love to learn more about the restaurants and the different businesses, because we know our staff are anxious to start shopping and going there. Yes.
We have a list. We have a list. So Lemon Grove Coffee, we just discovered Funky's Frenchies that just opened. Yeah, so we're excited. We're excited about that.
Very, very cool. Okay, my question as far as the military. So if somebody is disabled or senior, but they're also accepting, they're already getting military benefits. Thank you. That word, does that qualify? Would they qualify too, or?
It depends on their personal situation. We don't just look at the income and then make a determination from there. We're looking at how much are they paying for their shelter cost? Are they eligible to any deductions? In most cases, if we have a veteran maybe that's experiencing homelessness, in my personal experience, I have seen them qualify. But it does depend on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, so
So
they're
that's
not
something-
necessarily disqualified because of military. It just
Right.
depends on.
Exactly. And they're more than welcome to apply, and then we'll evaluate them just
Okay,
like
that
anyone
makes
else.
sense. And the other quick question is, do you know what's going to be going where you are leaving? Have you heard?
Yes, family health centers. Yes.
Family.
A clinic. Yeah.
So you're leaving to go here to the old Union Bank, and then they're going to have a family health.
Yep.
They're remodeling it and going to make it beautiful.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring it back over here, so give me a second. And while I'm walking, just a reminder that we have samples from Lemon Grove Thai, so that anybody can come back here and grab one.
Hi, I'm Eric. Recently been doing some research on like substance use disorder counselors, SUD counselors, and so I was just looking around, and I think family health centers in the city, they have like one SUD counselor for like the whole region, and I think they collaborate with the McAllister Institute. I was just curious how many SUD counselors are in the county that could like help with this resource center at this time?
Got it. So with us, we don't offer that in this facility, but that would be something else for our public health clinic at the Southeast Live Well Center. Yeah, that's not something we are going to offer here, unfortunately. But yes, we do have those services available. I couldn't give you an exact number. I don't know if Brenda or Yvonne knows. No. Behavioral health, yeah.
I used to be on the executive committee for Alcohol and Drug Service Provider Association. So yes, I do know. So the county doesn't provide any direct services, none for behavior. They contract it all out. So to ask them what they have it there, they would have none. However, there are a number of services that are provided within here, like Family Health Centers has substance use providers there. McAllister, but McAllister has places within Lemon Grove, so it's all over the county. Thousands.
Hi, real quick question. The parking lot in back, what's happening with that? Is that going to be all parking spots? How is that monitored? We're right next to the school and the businesses.
Yes, it's going to be a parking lot. And what was the last part of that? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Is it going to be all fenced?
No. So it's going to be an open parking lot. And we do have cameras and we do have security on site as well. Or we will, excuse me.
And that's actually pretty good because if you do not know, LGAE uses that like for a lot of their nights that happen over their open house, and they're having I think it's science night over here again.
Okay. So one of the concerns is always like one of the things you're doing here is bringing this information to us, which is really great. And sometimes our residents don't know about the services that are offered. And so it's great that you're here. Is there any other advertising you're doing or things that we can do to advertise this new area?
Good question. So we haven't started. I think Brenda. Got it? Okay.
We're going to do our exercise tonight.
So I think a challenge, as Mike mentioned, is that with some of the construction, we haven't, this is very unique. Typically, since months ahead of time, we know our move date, but there's just been some challenges. So we're looking at moving at the end of April. We're really crossing our fingers it's going to be the last week of April, but we're keeping an open mind. It might be early May. We are planning on putting a temporary sign in front of our current building so all of our customers know. We're hoping to know by the end of next week our actual confirmed date. We'll make sure we share that with this group. We'll start handing out flyers, which we can also share with all of you. And we have started communication with the Lemon Grove School District Superintendent. We do owe her a meeting because we're pending to confirm our move date. And we want to also collaborate with her schools, with the Lemon Grove School District, because we know a lot of the families, they're also our customers, and they can also leverage their, connections with the families and the outreach that they do, just to let more families and individuals know what services we offer. And they don't have to come and visit us there at the old bank, but they can. They're more than welcome to. And then I also just going back to the question about the parking lot. So during our workday, we open at 7 a.m. and we close at 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. We do follow all of the county holidays, but we want to still work with the school district. Like if they're having a parent-teacher night, we won't need that parking lot after 5 p.m. We're pretty good at like vacating, so that's definitely something we want to have, that open dialogue with the school district too, because we we promise we're going to be good neighbors. And then just so you know, some of our other Live Well centers, family resource centers, they are located adjacent to some elementary schools. And if anything, like if there's anything that comes up, we're always in communication. And Kevin and Kevlin, as the managers, they are on site Monday through Friday, you know, with Yvonne's support. You know, that's what we want. We want to safeguard not just our building, the parking lot, but even our neighbors. So I just kind of wanted to share that as well.
And for anybody who didn't know, the school district even advertised this meeting tonight because we want to make sure that people feel safe. I'm coming back to you, Jay.
Welcome to the neighborhood, literally. One thing the city has is a program called the YIFTI program, where you buy a certificate through the city website. If you buy, say, $100, you get that plus a $50 free gift certificate. Is there a way we can ask you to help us get the word to your customers, not just for you to utilize our local businesses, but for our your customers as well? Does that question make sense?
Hold on. Let's turn it into like a little bit of information, and then we'll turn it into a question. So for your employees, it is good for them to know about the YIFTI program, because he's right. So if you buy a $100 gift card, you actually get $150 worth. And then the local businesses who accept it, and it can only be local businesses, not chain restaurants, your money's going to go further. So if you guys are out buying lunch and stuff, please be aware of that. His question is that because it's not such a specific thing, something you could advertise or put up in your like storeroom or something so that people are aware that they can take advantage of that here in Lemon Grove?
Yeah, we could put that in our break room for our employees. I actually use that program for the pet store.
Because it's awesome.
Right across from where we're going. So I buy all my dog food there, and I use that. But yes, that's something we can educate our employees about. We're not allowed to share that with our customers, but our employees, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up because we still have another presentation to do. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It was such a big deal for us to make sure everybody had the correct information from the source because we had so many rumors that were swirling around. We wanted to make sure that people understood what was going on. And so direct from the source, people who live here with us, so that you know that what it is that's going on. And it will be next to a school, but I don't think we should have any issues or anything like that. And he's right, a lot of the school people are clients as well. So now we're going to plug in to the second. And are you okay using the mic over here? Okay.
I'm going to take the same sort of...
Yep, it works good. And then I'll give you the mic.
And I'll take Let's see if it's going to... Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Frenia Aceituno. I'm here with Caltrans District 11. We serve the Imperial County and San Diego County, and we're here today to talk to you about our SR 94 Medium Barrier Aesthetics project. It's a small component of a larger project, which I'll get into in just a moment. But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for making the time and space for us to come talk to you about this. It's really exciting to add some of the community identification markers that you guys have into our projects, and that's basically what we're here to talk about today. So really quickly, I'm going to give a quick overview of Caltrans because I find that not everyone knows who we are or aren't very familiar. So Caltrans Department of Transportation is a state agency, and we basically plan, design, build, maintain, operate, and manage all of California's transportation system. We're responsible for over 50,000 highway lane, 12,000 bridges. We partner and assist with local systems to make sure that we're meeting the local needs. We also provide state, federal formula and grant funding to a lot of our transportation projects. And then we oversee aeronautics, mass transit, including over 400 public airports, intercity rail, and Amtrak. That's a state as a whole. D11, District 11, that's who we are here today. We represent specifically San Diego and Imperial counties. The state is broken up into districts, and so we, at D11, we're approximately 1,300 civil servants who basically manage over 4,000 land miles, 3,000 acres of roadside. We have 26 maintenance stations across both counties. We serve 25 cities. We have 20 tribal nations that we communicate with. And then the one unique component, not one unique, we have many unique components in our district. But a really important one is that we have 7 border crossings. We're the only district in Caltrans that has a border, which means we have to also manage international relations. We are bounded by our 4 core principles: that's safety, equity, economic prosperity, and climate action. A lot of our projects basically make sure that we're incorporating these 4 values into every single every single project that we do, whether it's a minor B project, which is a smaller, to our big capital improvement projects. And then today, specifically, we're here to talk to you about our 94 Culvert Rehabilitation Project. This is a SHOP project. And the small component, or one of the components that we have here, is an aesthetic feature, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. But just to give you a bit of a project overview of what what we're doing with the rehab is, this is basically a 4-year program, or it's funded through our SHOP project, which is a 4-year program that collectively improves the condition, operation, and sustainability of the state highway system. And we're going to be doing this specifically on SR 94. And so this basically makes sure that we are improving anything on the road, any damage repairs we're also addressing. Highway operational and modal improvements are also being addressed. And specifically with this project, with the SR 94 Culvert Rehab Project, we'll be doing pavement restoration, which means we're replacing damaged concrete slabs and repaving ramps and shoulders to create a smoother, safer driving surface. We're also improving concrete medium barriers and installing approximately 7 miles of new medium barrier to reduce that cross-traffic collision and enhance the roadway safety. And it's on that new medium barrier that we'll have the opportunity to add aesthetic features. We're doing some safety upgrades. We'll also be doing some culvert rehabilitation, which basically means we'll be restoring a lot of the drainage structures to improve the stormwater flow and reduce any flooding risks. We'll be making sure that we address our traffic signals and lighting by upgrading and making sure that they're more visible and safer for intersections, enhancing our ramp meters, adding complete street elements. But really, when we talk about that, we're looking at bicyclist safety along our jurisdiction or along our corridors. Roadside planting, which means we'll have some opportunity for landscaping, and then fiber optics installation, which means that we are providing the infrastructure to support the communication systems and improve operational efficiency as well on the corridor. Corridor is what we call our highways, but we have many names for them. So today specifically, I'm here to talk to you about the medium barrier aesthetics, and this is basically an opportunity for us to sandblast on the state highway. And it allows us to really think about what kind of symbols or any identity markers that we put on the medium barrier, what they would look like and how we want them to represent, obviously, the cities that the corridor is going through, right? So really looking to celebrate Lemon Grove's identity, heritage, and bringing community symbolism to the forefront, but while, of course, maintaining our safety and design standards, which does mean that we have some rules that we have to comply with and make sure that we make the corridor safe and no distracting writing because that's where you're driving 60 miles an hour. We're not asking you to read something. So those kind of things, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. Aesthetics. Why we do this is our design team. We have a design division at Caltrans throughout all of our districts, and they're constantly looking at considerations to really improve and address the visual quality and make that responsive to community goals. So we try to integrate that into our transportation facilities when there is an opportunity, and with this project we do have an opportunity. And to give you an example of what we mean by that, these are a few that we've done. You probably recognize the one with the seashells that's on SR 54. And also along the Interstate 5, and then there's also seagulls that we've sandblasted on other parts of our highway corridors and in other parts of the regions in the state. But okay, so we're asking. Oh, this is the wrong song. We're asking you guys to think about. We have a proposition, but first I'll talk a little bit about the locations where we'll be installing this. So the first location is going to be through Grove Street to Lemon Grove Ave. And so, like I said, we'll be adding new medium barriers along some parts of the corridor, not there, of course, is a medium barrier across along SR 94, but not all of those medium barriers qualify for sandblasting. So it's only these distinct locations we'll be able to add that feature. So here's our first location. Our second location is going to be Lemon Grove Ave to Massachusetts Avenue. And then our third location is going to be Massachusetts Avenue to College Avenue. Oh, and we do have a fourth, actually, College Grove Way, which is a gateway to Choice Lake Park, and that's also within the jurisdiction of Lemon Grove, so we're going to be adding that to this project as well. So as far as the installation process goes and what we plan to do, it's basically a basic stenciling, sandblasting, and staining. And so this involves sort of a pre-cut stencil that we would put on the medium barrier. We would create the pattern or the texture that we want to integrate there, and then we would go ahead and go with a sandblasting sort of finishing process where we apply fine sand with high pressure to the concrete surface. And then we're going to go ahead and stain a little bit of it to add some color and some feature to it. And again, we're doing this to really just make sure that we're responding to the community identity markers that you guys hopefully will tell us what type of community identity markers that you'd like to see. So we do have a proposed design for Lemon Grove, and I feel like it's going to land here because there's lemons everywhere. But the proposed design is this lemon motif with some leaves. It's only going to be going on our Type 60 barriers, not under bridges or overhead signs. And again, really trying to make sure that we have Lemon Grove at the forefront, really identifying that people are driving through Lemon Grove and making sure, of course, that it correlates with the improvements, the safety improvements that we're going to be also pushing through. And so our job, as far as state agency goes, is we want to make sure that it reflects your character, your identity. It fits naturally to the surrounding setting. We want to keep the design simple and clean. Like I said, no complicated, distracting features there. We also have to think about the scale, and so what you saw before, this is something that we'll continue to play with when we start actually putting the stencils together to make sure that when you guys are driving down the corridor, it's not distracting, and but it's still visible. You can still recognize that they're lemons if this is if this is something that you guys like. So we'll be applying one stain for unified stain color for unified look, and then of course avoid those text symbols and maintain clarity and safety along the corridor. And so we're here today just to basically ask you all. If you like the proposed design, the string of lemons and leaves, which we think does celebrate Lemon Grove's heritage and identity, but really looking to you guys to tell us if you like the current design, if you want to suggest any refinements, or actually if you want to throw away the idea and come up with something new. We're open to listening to you, of course. But I do want to preface this by saying that we have to start working on the corridor mid-April, so we don't have a big window, but we do want to hear community input and see if this is the design that lands with you guys. And I'm just going to go back to the design so you guys can take a look. And then I'm opening it up to you guys to see what you guys think.
So there's questions. And also, just a reminder for you guys, our Clean California Community designation is part of the Caltrans program as well. So yay for that. When we do the ribbon cutting for that, we'll invite you back.
Thank you.
Real quick, a question, and then kind of another idea to add to this. First, the question. How long does the sandblasting and stain typically last on a median once applied?
Oh, that's a great question. This is a really great thing to add to our medium barriers. It does improve durability. Yeah. As far as the how long it can last or if it improves the lifespan, I do have a technical expert here in the audience, Jodine, who maybe can answer that, or we can also get back to you guys with the specific detail. Do you know, Jodine?
The reason we chose the sandblasting was for its durability. And so it's been done throughout the state, and so far they've lasted. We haven't had any that have been removed. I would say 2 decades easy, yeah. I mean, and what we're going to do is our maintenance is also going to have samples of, gallons of the stain so they can touch up as necessary, but we'll occasionally might get a little bit of, tire markings and so forth, but the sandblasting should last. Yeah.
And we're coming back for part 2.
Yeah, part 2, sorry. So one thing that I'm super proud about that I think is just a growing movement in Lemon Grove is native plantings. We're part of the Busy Bee Co-op. Some other folks here are part of it, have been part of it. I just think it's growing, it's spreading. I would love to see like a California poppy design,
Okay.
kind of shadow or bunch of flowers, something to that effect to kind of celebrate the native plants that were here long before anyone else.
Thank you for sharing.
And I'm going to jump in on that. And fair warning, I did have a sneak peek of what we were seeing, so I kind of knew. So along with what Eric was saying, we are actually very proud here in Lemon Grove to be the first official pollinator pathway in California. We did not have that until now. We are the only city in California that has a Wild One certification, which is also a national conservation brand. So in my mind, while he's seeing like the poppies or something, in my mind, I thought of, I love the lemon slices and then like either butterflies or bees in between. Because lemons are where we were and you could find a lemon grove here before, but now you can't. But we are making a huge push for these pollinators. And so we have both the past and the future. That was my idea. I'm going to go to
Love
Jules
that.
because Jules had a question.
Not a question, just feedback. I also love the busy bee idea. I mean, the idea of having like butterflies or bees. But for the lemon, I feel like we have an iconic lemon, and it's very specific shape. And so even though it's cool that it's a slice, I really don't think that's what resonates with the people. I feel like we'd want like the actual, and it's actually simpler than that. So that would be my
Okay.
thoughts on that.
And you said specific kind of lemon is like
the neighborhood.
like the whole. Okay, gotcha. Not like the Myers versus. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean we could take that, I guess. Thank you for that.
My question was, what color is the stain?
It's
If we
gonna-
were to do like a lemon and bees, could we do yellow?
Yeah, it might not show. Right now, what we worked with is, and I can go back to this kind of brown stain. And in our seagull example, there's grayish, but for the most part, it's a tinted brown. So.
Can we change that?
Yeah, I can get back to you on that.
First off, thanks, Jules, for making that comment. I also thought with the continuity of Lemon Grove and the design of a lot of people's logos reflecting the main lemon, that image should probably reflect what is a silhouette of a lemon or something that's representative of our big lemon that's in the city, that lets people know when I drive through here, like this is the home of the big lemon.
That's what. Thank you for saying that. That's what we want to showcase with when you're driving through the corridor. We have the ability to do the similar stenciling in Southeast, and so we'll have a concept there. But we want people to know now you're in Lemon Grove, and so what does that mean? Yes, the big lemon. Thank you for sharing.
My question is, the median, is that what separates the opposing traffic? Right down the
Yes.
center?
So yes, it's the center wall between eastbound and westbound, and the motif will be on both sides. So you'll see it going east and you'll see it going west.
So that's only about 3 or 4 feet high, right? So
It's not much. Yes, it's not much. Which is why the simple and sort of something long, not too complicated type of motif is what's going to work best here. It's not going to be a mural, so we can't do like anything complicated like that. So it's something I think 48 inches. You said? 42 inches height.
are there any other walls that are adjacent to the freeway that this motif might be on?
These are the walls that qualify right now for this particular project. If there is another project where we have the opportunity to do more aesthetic features, we will happily come back and see if we can add more.
Okay, thank you.
Would anybody else like to provide direct input? Okay, let me walk over here to Manila.
I just want to emphasize the lemon. When people were talking about the lemon, everybody was nodding. So I really, really want you to hear that part. That's it.
Thank you. We will
and see if you can get other colors.
Okay. I think Judine has a response to that.
Okay, hold on. Let me come back there.
She's our designer, guys. So she's
Yeah. Oh, you poor thing. She shouldn't have called you out like that.
So we were considering maybe a green color. The yellow is not going to probably show up on the wall, so we want it to just be, visible and clean. Also, on the height of the wall, it's 42 inches, but we need to stay 6 inches from the top and 12 inches from the bottom, so it gives us 24 inches to work with.
See, and that's why we bring these people here. Are there any other questions or feedback anybody wants to give directly? So most of us, I'm going to say, like the idea of the giant lemon style silhouette. And then because we should give some feedback and it should not just be about us, how many are interested in like the pollinators being added to it? Okay. Yeah, and that is a good thing. Without it, we wouldn't have the lemons. And it's just, I think, a good reflection of where we were and where we're going. And we would like, when you drive in, or when you're driving down the freeway, we want somebody to go, oh, why do they have this? And maybe check things out more. Because remember, if you're driving down the freeway, you can either be driving right on past Lemon Grove, or you could be like, what's Lemon Grove got to offer? And so that's how we look at those. If there's no other feedback or questions, we will go ahead and let her leave the stage.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
okay.
Sure.
All right, and then we are going to go into our own normal Revitalize Broadway stuff, and we did great on time, so we're doing really good. So one of the things that we are working on currently, trying to get done, and I'm very sorry because I forgot to bring a sign-up paper, is, of course, a student art walk, and we're trying to collaborate with that with the school district, which they're in. We're trying to just get everything figured out. So right now, the plan is to have the art walk on Mother's Day weekend. And we are gathering the businesses that are going to give us space to participate. And then, we're working out all the details with the district on what needs to be done. But then we will need volunteers. We will need volunteers to help mount some of the artwork. We'll need volunteers to help go set it up inside of the different businesses and to keep a list of things. And somebody who might want to do a spreadsheet so that I know where everything is. As much as I like to try to do what I can, please remember I work a 9-to-5 job. And I do this, I do many other things. So having the time, this is where like the other volunteers really make a difference for me, guys. So something to consider. So if you are interested in volunteering for that, it's revitalizebroadway@gmail.com. And Manola's so nice, she's going to send something around. So basically, we would look for somebody to help set up on Friday. We're going to find out from the district when we will set up all the art, and we will put things together for what businesses are letting us do it and about how much space they have. But also Mother's Day weekend, we're going to do our first Bites on Broadway that's all weekend. So that way we can encourage people to get out, visit the businesses, support local, and get out and enjoy the art walk. Sorry, it's so hot in here. It is so hot in here. So we just want to make sure if you guys have time to volunteer, it's a big deal to run this because we're doing it solo, okay? One of the other things to remember, where's Jack? Jack, if you can hear me back there, can we put up some of the pictures at Promenade Park? Oh. Anne, can you do that for us? Okay. If you have not been by Promenade Park, if you have not seen the post, we have flowers going on, guys. So this was one of that Busy Bee installs, and we partnered up with Helix Helps. And we had a lot of great people come out to install this. So right now, whoa, that is not a flower. And on our gorgeous interpretive panels that are out there at Promenade Park. If you don't know where Promenade Park is, it's the little park that runs next to our Lemon Grove trolley stop. All of these poppies were seeds when the kids tossed them out on December 6th. So we're talking, this is 3 months in a week, guys, and we have flowers going on out there. We have a, click to one of the other pictures. So you can see the plants are coming in really nice. Unfortunately, we still have illegal dumping going on in the back, so we're going to try to do what we can to work with them. And then the next one. Whoop. There we go. But there you have it where you're looking towards the trolley stop. And, well, this one was just for the different angle. But I want you to be able to see, so all of those plants will fill in. That's 3 months. And if you were out there planting, I kid you not, our plants were like this big. And as you can see with the poppies, they were seeds. Okay, so we can make a difference. Everybody who comes out to help makes a difference. And we keep calling Promenade Park. This is our doormat to the city for anybody who comes in by trolley. So we're very excited to see the progress that's going on. Along with the different things that we are bringing in here with like HHSA and Caltrans, we have Sandag next month. We have pulled that? Yeah. So we have Sandag coming to our meeting next month. That's not the right one. Let's see. Yeah. If it didn't come, that's okay. If it didn't come through, that's all right. Ooh, we get to see everything. And Crystal paid you $2. Good job, Crystal. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So when we are working on things to revitalize Broadway, we have to remember the importance of what feeds into Broadway in our businesses, and that is our Caltrans and our highway. That is the side streets that come in. That is now our Connect Main Street path that is walking people down to our business corridor. All of these things are important, but one of the things a lot of the businesses were promised when they were coming in was that we would have this connection of La Mesa residents shopping here in Lemon Grove, and a lot of people will tell you that did not happen. So a lot of the reasons for that is that 94 seems to be a bigger barrier than people think. So Sandag is working on a Reconnecting Communities workshop, and we will be hosting that at our meeting next month. Next month will be slightly different because we're workshopping. So it'll start at 6 p.m., just so you guys know. So please make a note of it. Instead of 6:30, we're 6 p.m. But it'll be enough time so that we'll actually be working at tables and people will be providing input and trying to see ways that we can have a better flow between each side. And Sandag, can you scroll? I think there's a little more information. Yeah. So Sandag is studying how to better connect neighborhoods that have been divided by highways and railroads, and that's why they want our input. That is a lot of Lemon Grove. We had the 94 come through, and it completely divided. Remember that the other half over there, we have a school that's in our district, but even though it's in La Mesa, we have some houses that are actually Lemon Grove. It got wonky. Then we had the 125 go this way, and we had some divisions. Luckily, we got to save some historic homes that would have been lost in that. And then we have the trolley that runs right through our city, which divides more than people realize. So it's a really important thing to look at. So please, if you care about the community and you're working, please make sure you come to next month's meeting. This will be a direct input one also. You can tune in online, but being right here means your voice is heard right here, and you will be workshopping with us. So that's an important one. So everybody, calendar 6 p.m. instead of 6:30. And 8 instead of 7:30. Just because we might end up earlier, but if you're like me, Manola and I had a million questions while we were there and a lot to say. So we just want to make sure that the time is given if you need it. So one of the other things we have is the business group. Stanley is normally our connection between the business group. He's not here today. So John, you get to come up and talk. Because we do have our businesses starting to unite, guys. So these things are important as well.
Wow. When Stanley asked me to come, I wasn't expecting all these people. I feel hoodwinked. So many people. My name's John Sepulveda. I'm the executive director of the business group. It's an all-volunteer. We just got our nonprofit status not too long ago. Thank you. And actually, to the talk about the dividing line, just real quick, anybody who's ever had coffee with me, when we walk by the Big Lemon, and Manola can attest to this, I always complain about the damn trolley gate. This city has been divided in half ever since Maureen O'Connor rode in on that trolley back in like 1985, 1984, sometime back then. So it's a true thing. And also, too, I want to welcome y'all to our downtown area. I'm going to immediately see, part of the reason I was asking how many people are going to be here is because I want to see how many discount cards I can get for y'all to try our great businesses. And yes, Frenchie's is great. El Pollo Grilled, never sleep on that. It's the best damn chicken in the state. And believe me, I eat a lot of chicken. So I want to give you just real quick 3 updates that are happening. The first is we are working to clean up the downtown area. And there is a pressure that business can bring that the politicians and others can't. I just met with one of our, and when I say clean up, I want to make something clear. We're going to do so in an ethical and empathetic way. One of the things, just so you know, my story includes I used to sleep when I was a homeless youth in front of your building when you're over there by the Jack in the Box. So how we treat our unhoused folks and how we treat those who aren't that as fortunate, it's really, really important. At the same time, we cannot conduct business when there is excrement and other things that are in front of our doors, when families don't feel safe to walk through this corridor, when people can't walk their dogs. I want to see more dog. I want to see more. We know there is a direct causation between dog walking and quality of life in a neighborhood. So these are the things that we're trying to bring, and that's immediate. I just met. We have a new lieutenant and a new sergeant. I just met with the sergeant today, right before I came here. I actually went with him on a stop to see how they handle it. We're going to be working with the sheriffs to create a type of neighborhood watch. This is all Chelsea. By the way, Chelsea's great. I just want to make it clear. So we're going to be having that proposal, and we're going to be rolling it out. What I will say is it's going to look like this. I've already contacted SDSU. We're going to be working with their School of Social Work. We are going so that we're, again, empathetic. I cannot say it enough. But this has to change. And we're going to make a change. Do our part. Second thing is we're really worried about the derelict buildings. Some of you might know the 99-cent city. That's become a symbol of what just sits here and kind of rots. I'm proud to say, actually today's been a big day. I actually talked to the owner of it. So, and don't thank me. I'm serious about this. Thanks city staff. And I want to give a shout to city staff because they work really, really hard. And they do yeoman's work for little pay. Don't tell them I said the little pay part. So I don't want them going anywhere. But they deserve all the kudos. And they worked really hard to help make that connection happen. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I will say it was a positive development. Finally, the bigger long-term thing that we need to do is create a destination. So I grew up in Lemon Grove. As I told you, I have that part of the story here. The Lemon Grove Rec is a massive hub for the city. We know that when folks come into the city to have fun and do their thing, they spend money here. We need that sales tax revenue. So we're working on trying to figure out what are the steps for that, but that is a longer-term thing over the course of the year. Those are 3 things that we voted on and are moved on this last business meeting. We're going to implement, I will say the very first thing is the cleanup aspect. The other 2 kind of fall by the wayside. Now I will say the buildings, the derelict buildings, and it's not just the one that's right over there, there are some others. Part of that is, and I know because my office is right across the street, people are living in that building, and that creates fire risk. Caltrans is here. How many fires do y'all have to deal with because of our unhoused population and folks cooking and trying to stay warm on the side? In an age of accelerated climate change, we cannot have that. Our fire resources are already stretched thin as they are. So with that, we're working on these problems in unison. Our hope is that within the next 2 years, it's going to be a very, very different looking on the business aspect. We're looking to recruit businesses. If you know of a home business who wants to participate in our business group and be represented by that, please let us know. So with that, I can take any questions if anybody has it, but I'd really like to get out of here because I don't like public speaking. Oh, yeah. So we have business meetings, and those are closed to business members. So if you know somebody, if you have a business, or you would like to get somebody who is a business, have them contact me. I'll be posted up right there. I'll give you my phone and my email. We also have mixers. And I can tell you the last one and our first one, I had a great time. I don't know about y'all. We're expecting it to actually become a little bit better and a little bit bigger. And our next one is going to be the last week of April. So if you're interested in getting those updates, please see me. I'll put you on our email list. Do I answer questions? I don't know how Stanley does this. I don't. Oh man.
He doesn't do too much, but we'll let him sit down and we'll just do a few.
I want to say thank you to John for all that groundwork, that legwork. That's the owner from 99 Cent down to Popeyes has been a real struggle in our community for about a decade. I just want to mention I lead a community cleanup every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. by the Lemon. And this week we happened to speak to, they were plastering in the windows on the Broadway side of the building that was supposed to be a pet hospital pre-COVID. And they ran out of money and yada yada. Well, I think Susan talked to him, right? Talked to the guy, and he said it's all framed inside, and they hope to be open by the end of the year. So that is something to keep on your prayer list, because, man, alive, that building is so central and so visible. You talk about a doormat to Lemon Grove. That building has been boarded up, and it graffitied, and it's horrible. So I think change is coming, guys. I'm really excited.
And we're going to go quick, so I'm going to wrap things up because we are at 7:33. Remember that every single person who is a community member has a voice in Lemon Grove, and that is why there's certain meetings that are out there and they're open to the public. And of course, one of them is the council meetings that happen twice a month. And remember, if you did not see it, in December, we had how to respectfully and properly address the city council. You can find that on our Revitalize Broadway YouTube page. And that's it is designed so that you're not up there mumbling, you're not up there not getting your point across, and you show some respect because we're adults. I mean, as simple as that, we're adults. The Measure T tax meetings are open to the public as well. So make sure that if that is something that you want an input on, they do have public time as well. And I believe our next one is April 8th. Then there is goal setting that's coming towards the city soon. Is that April 14th, I think might be. So there's goal setting coming. Your voice matters. And if you can't make it to a meeting, you can actually email stuff in. So make sure that you're not just sitting back complaining, that you're actually being an active participant of your community. And one more thing coming this way.
So in this room next Wednesday is the Art Collective. It's brand new, started by Manola's husband, Calvin. And wherever, Mike Borelli says this all the time, wherever there's revitalization, there's always arts. And so that is another aspect of this diamond, another facet that we're looking at. I mean, it's economic, it's business, but art too. So if you have an inkling of artisticness, or do you just like to be around artists, come next Wednesday here. I think it's 6:30. And so it's art of any kind. And we're just getting together and we're dreaming about what kind we want. Calvin's vision is that people will come to Lemon Grove, from outside of Lemon Grove, for the arts, performing arts, the music, a destination spot. And we've got so many wonderful murals in this city. Highlight those, do art walks. So anyway, I just want to invite everybody to that. It's completely open here, 6:30 next Wednesday.
And I will be there because I'm very happy to say that we have a new project that we can, I got you, Joe, that we can look at, collaborate with the art collective. I can't remember their official name, Art Collective. So I did ask the city for permission to see if we could plant the planters that are by the breezeway, our trouble breezeway over there. So we will be able to paint on those and update that, and the bollards that go in the back, because every little bit of changing over an aesthetics makes a difference. And then if you are part of our community or just want to see some really cool stuff, this Saturday is the multicultural fair that the Lemon Grove School District puts on. They always get bigger, they always get better. Their kids zone has doubled, so if you have kids or grandkids, bring them on out. It really makes a difference. And if you were at the Black Empowerment Celebration, that was phenomenal, so it will be just as good. Okay, and strategic goals for the city is April 14th, and that is in our community center. With that, thank you all for coming. It is 7:37. We are officially adjourning our meeting, but you may stick around and ask questions if you want to. Thank you so much.